So hello everyone and welcome at DALES. During this presentation we will give you a presentation in three parts. So first we will give you a presentation of our team, of our teamwork experience, and of the role of each member during this business strategy game. Then a link between our performance and our 3-year strategic plan. And finally, to conclude, we will give you a brief summary of what we have learned during this game and how it was related to what we have learned in class. First, regarding the teamwork experience, that was very important because like in each company in the real life, you have to be organized. So each year we had a meeting. Each of us met in order to analyze the past decisions, the consequences of the past decisions, in order to understand what happened and how we can improve our past strategy for the future. It was very important for us to understand at the same time what was the strategy of our competitor in order to improve our own strategy. We were used to have some phone meetings as well in order to understand how to improve our company. Regarding the rules, Eleonora was more in charge of the production managers, how many units to produce. Leah was more in charge of the financial part, so more figures and so on, while Agnes was more in charge of the advertising part. She was the marketing manager. And as for me, I was in charge of the strategic management, so that was to say I was in charge of the long-term analysis of the decisions and how to improve our strategy in the long term.
Okay, so now we are going to talk about our performance in relation to the 3-year strategic plan. So before the 3-year strategic plan, our strategy was not really defined and we focused more on finding short-term solutions to short-term problems. But we had several goals that we tried to reach at each round. The first goal was to meet the investors' expectation. The second was to maintain a medium price and a medium quality. And the third was to have a worldwide presence, so be present in each of the 4 areas. The decisions we made to achieve these goals and to be coherent with our strategy were to invest only a small amount in the CSR department and also to reduce the use of higher quality materials. We also chose to not invest in higher training practices and in ways to improve our workers' productivity. One of the major decisions we made was to reduce our prices in Asia Pacific and Latin America, so we went from $48 to $40 by year 13. And we also managed to maintain our prices in North America and Europe, Africa a bit below the average. So this has for result an increase in our ROE and EPS. As you can see, they exceeded the investors' expectations. We also managed to increase our credit rating from an A- to an A by year 13. And we also increased our market share, which reached 17% globally at one point. But this has also a negative impact as our image rating dropped to about 61 or 62 points, which was way below the investors' expectations. And we also noticed decrease in the SQ rating, which dropped to 4 stars everywhere except for North America, where it maintained itself at 5 stars.
So after the 3-year strategic plan, we really thought about our strategy and we decided to have a global best cost strategy. We planned to have a really long-term strategy and be less on a short-term yearly basis. So we had 4 main goals to achieve. First, invest a lot more on CSR because for us it's our core value and it's really important. Second, to meet the investors' expectations all the time. Third, to have low price in comparison with our competitors. And fourth, really help and have better relationships with our retailers. So the decision we've made were the following one. First, the first top priority for us was to have a good results in terms of CSR. So we invested a lot on green materials, on the employees program in order for them to be well treated. We also increased our capacity and the quality of our products thanks to building new plants or investing a lot more on high quality materials. We also increased the budget of the advertising and we signed contracts with celebrities to attract a lot more our customers. And indeed we increased the budget for our retailers. The results were quite significant and we are really happy about it because of course the image rating and the SQ rating and net revenues and CSR increased, but the market share, EPS and ROE decreased. We are actually really happy about the fact that we won the CSR award 2 years in a row, which is the best achievement for us indeed, and about the fact that the sales and the revenues increased a lot more. That's why the 3-year strategic plan was actually a really good thing to make.
I'm now going to speak about what we learned in the business game. First, regarding the class, this experience really showed us that in order to perform, you have to examine the environment of your company in terms of economics, finance, fashion trends, currency. It is really important to assess the forces that surround your company, as it has a tremendous impact on your performance. Moreover, we learned that you have to establish a strategy according to the resources and the opportunities of your company, without trying to imitate the leader of the industry. This sometimes implies questioning your vision and what you want to accomplish. Finally, one of the most important things of a business game is that you have to establish, you have to combine the short-term priority and the long-term objectives. For instance, we often have to deal with decisions that have an immediate effect and make sure they did not jeopardize our long-term strategy. There is a balance here that is really difficult to achieve, as you need to respond to emergencies and be flexible at the same time, but also to set goals at the same time. At the end of the day, it was all about compromises and finding an equilibrium between short-term and long-term strategy, dealing with the interests of the stakeholders and the shareholders, and try to achieve all the goals together.